time to get some common sense from Craig Bolanos, the CEO and founder of Wealth Management Group. Hello to you, Craig. And you're here to bring our attention to the fact that some smart investors are taking advantage of inflation and making money with old school savings bonds that are back in vogue. Craig, what do we need to know?
Well, given inflation's proven to be both stubborn and persistent, allocating a portion of people's cash to Series I savings bonds can really take the edge off inflation, given the bonds have been paying a 7.12% annual percentage rate through April 30th, and that's set to reset to 9.62 on May 1st. So yes, that's a 9.62% APR on Series I savings bonds effective May 1st.
I think many of us are remembering getting those old bonds, and it almost sounds like it's too good to be true, but break down the numbers for us, Craig.
Well, there's a bunch of questions I think everyone wants to know the answers to. And the first is, what is a Series I savings bond? Well, many people are going to remember the good old-fashioned Series E, Series EE savings bonds that people used to get when they were born, for a special event, whatever it might be. Now, we don't want those. We want Series I savings bonds. And the I doesn't stand for interest. The I stands for inflation. And because inflation is running so hot, that's the reason these Series I bonds are paying an eye-popping 9.6% interest as of May of this year. People also want to know, how long do I need to hold these bonds for? Well, the bonds are going to earn interest for up to 30 years. Now, that doesn't mean you have to hold them for 30 years, but it's important to note that if you buy Series I savings bonds, you have to keep them for at least 12 months. And any bonds you redeem inside of 5 years are subject to partial interest forfeiture. Basically means you give up the previous 90 days or 3 months worth of interest. Hence, these are best as a long-term emergency fund. How is the interest component on the savings bond going to fluctuate over time? Well, the interest rate on that I bond is tied to the general level of inflation. And that level of inflation is recalculated twice per annum. Hence, the amount of interest to be credited, well, it adjusts semi-annually. That time period being May through October 31st, and then again, November through April 30th. So where do you go about buying these? How can someone buy an I savings bond? Well, the only way to get a Series I savings bond today is directly through the U.S. Treasury. So that means going to treasurydirect.gov. And there's restrictions that apply. The minimum purchase is $25,000. The maximum is $10,000. So what's the bottom line? Well, if each of us are trying to be a good steward of our monies, that means doing everything we can, making every dollar count to fight inflation. And I think good old-fashioned savings bonds, Series I bonds in this case, are a great tool to that end. If you want to learn more, you can. Go out to our website, investwithwmg.com. I'm Craig Bolanos, the CEO and founder. We're here to help you get retired and stay retired.
Go to businessfirstam.com for where to see our show on TV.